working in a private school, both as like a sports grad and as a teacher, the opportunities that some of these kids are handed are unbelievable. And the fact that sometimes they're like, I'm like, why would you not do that? I've got a group of kids who you can see the direct impact of COVID. They are in year 3 and year 4, and you can see their lack of inability, like they've missed key socializing years, and now they just don't know how to hack it. So when I plan my lessons for those kids, I cannot plan a game that will result in a direct winner. The moment 1 or 2 of those kids does not get their way, does not win, does not progress, they just kick off.
So how much do we think that the modern invention of iPads and phones and stuff has contributed to kids not being active?
Absolutely huge. I see kids throughout the day, they're not on their phones, they're talking, they're engaging. Our kids at break time and lunchtime will do nothing but play football. But I know if they had their phones, they would just sit on them. And it's the moment the bell goes at 4 o'clock, they unlock Beyond the Podges and they are glued to it. It's like the first thing they do.
Welcome back to the PerformWell Podcast. This is the podcast for you if you're looking for performance and wellness optimization so that you can not only smash your career, but also have a better life, better relationships, and better health. We believe that performance and wellness are yin and yang and work together. So listen in as we dive into topics that are going to help you optimize your life for the better.
Welcome back to another episode, guys. We have Kate McAdorey down. As you know, Kate McAdorey is a PE teacher, by the way. So this is a new one. This is a different one. I think we've always missed talking about children and how we educate them. And today we're going to dive into it. So how are we doing today?
Doing good. Just had a session with Dan. Nice PT session. Thought it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to just delve a little bit deeper into this as well today, because I think there's a real interesting area to talk to a lot of the people that we'll be having on the podcast. There's a lot of parents on here too, and I think it's a really interesting perspective to look back on the education system, and not to bore people from the off, but we're going to deep dive into what it's like now, because you're living real time, like what's going on. And I think that's fascinating for us when we have conversations in PT sessions, but I also think it's fascinating from the perspective that are there things that can be twisted and changed that may help the system and make it work better, which is what we're going to come on to a little bit later on.
And we've all got opinions, right? We've all got opinions. Some of them are more qualified than others, I would imagine. But it is really cool to have you. Obviously, I've spoke to you before. It's not the first time, but let's dive in.
Can we? Yeah, I was going to say, can we talk about your occupation and again, we won't go into too many details about where you work, just for your own side of things, but talk a little bit of the background of your job, your occupation, and where it's taking you.
So qualified as a PE teacher, teaching only secondary here in Southampton actually. Then the school I'm currently working at, because it is private, is whole school. So I will teach nursery, which is age kind of 3-ish, 3.5-ish, all the way up to your leaving years, like your 17, 18-year-olds. So I'm teaching a huge range of kids with different likes of fitness, like what they like and what they don't like. And I think compared to when I was at school and my PE teachers, I look now and I go, God, this is a very different way of doing things, even down from the behaviour and the way we manage behaviour now in sport compared to the way we manage behaviour when we were at school. I think is completely different, all the steps that we have to take. And I think, how has it happened over the space?
See, now you're making me intrigued, because I would imagine you're probably younger than myself, but can't imagine we're like more than 5-10 years apart.
No.
I think you are, maybe 8, I don't know.
You're a year older than me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
27.
I'm swallowed by young people all the time, man. What's going on?
Keeping you youthful, my friend.
I know. Anyway, so moving on from that, basically I'm really intrigued because I've got my experiences with PE. I do know that as I was growing up, and I'm sure we were growing up, that technology was advancing quite rapidly, but we probably got away with in our younger years not having technology so rampant like it is now.
It's made a really big impact. Like I think I don't realise it until you get into these schools. So when we were young, we didn't have access to the internet when we were at school. Like we'd have maybe phones that just didn't have the same amount of things to get to. Like we would have had smaller iPhones with less, just not possible.
You had iPhones, I had a Nokia. The old school Nokia, the one with Snake. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
you could send text messages.
Is that why you took so long to reply to messages? Because you were having to press the button 4 times.
What, today?
Yeah.
No, just in general.
Oh right,
in general. You have to press. Yeah.
Just to get the letter S or R, whatever it was, you had to press it 4 times.
What, you didn't have that problem?
No.
You had the touchscreen?
Yeah. Well, I had
bastard.
a BlackBerry, so I was just full keyboard warrior, mate.
Oh, BlackBerry! Don't get me started. That's horrible. But my thumbs are too big for that. I was like, look I'm like pressing 2 buttons at once.
One thumb went across the whole of the keyboard.
They tried bringing that back actually, but that's another topic.
Like? Sounds like a you problem?
It is a me problem.
Yeah, it is a me problem.
Yeah, and you'll learn one day when you're my age.
Oh, okay.
Having like a nostalgic conversation now. To be fair, throwing it back to PE.
There's 4-year-olds out there watching this that are like, shut up.
You're nowhere near our age.
We didn't even have a phone till we're 18.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day.
But like the way we accessed the internet at school back then was so different. Like we just never felt like we never had the same amount. Well, these kids have full internet, like 4G, 5G. They have TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all the social medias that can just be so easily accessed, to the point where schools will put in different measures. So my school is something called yonder pouches, and they're bringing them in Scotland too. And it's a special pouch that gets locked shut by a magnet, and the only way you can unlock it is like a little disc that we have all around the school, and the only way they can unlock it is to like, you have to kind of slap it to like unpop it, and then they can use their phone afterwards. So the whole idea is in the morning they come into tutor and I go, oh, can I see your yonder pouches please? And they'll like wave it in the air, and I'm like, can you actually close it? And I'm like, oh, fine, and then they close it.
So how young are the kids that you are teaching have smartphones now?
Well, in the prep school it's a bit more easily maintained, because they would just the school rule will be that prep school kids, which is years like 1 to 6, if they have iPhones, or they shouldn't, because why would a 5-year-old need an iPhone? But they just don't bring it into school, and the parents can control that. Well, once they get to year 7, which is the big school kind of age, they need to have a phone if they're getting a bus, if they're walking home. So we put the idea in that if you bring a phone in, it has to go in a yonder pouch, and that's just a non-negotiable. Then they can unlock it throughout certain parts of the school at the end of the day. But I did have a kid the other day who's like on his phone at about 3:45, and I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, is it not 4 o'clock yet? I was like, no. He was like, oh, I didn't realise. I was like, but you on your phone, which has a time, you're also wearing a watch, so you knew it wasn't 4 o'clock. He was like, oh, but and I was like, right, so I'll take that, and
Caught.
you can
4K.
You can collect it at 4 o'clock because you've broken the rules, you donut. Like, that's what you have to. Like,
how many times do you say the word donut to kids?
The thing is, like, when kids are being stupid, you do have to come up with creative ways to insult them. So like the go-tos are donut, muppet is a really good one, because like it has to be an insult where they're not feeling it like proper hurt. They're just like, oh yeah, it's a bit of a
PC insult.
Bit of a PC insult, yeah. Muppet, donut, melon is quite a good one.
Yeah.
I got called that a lot.
Your melon.
Try to think what they actually wanted to call me at school. They were using melon and donut a lot. I'm actually quite concerned now.
Big ass?
No, I never got big ass.
No,
not that.
You would have got pain in the ass.
Yeah, pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, we had some teachers that are a little bit more lenient on what they said. You know, they'd have a shit slip out occasionally.
A what?
A shit. Not an actual shit, but just the word shit would slip out occasionally.
This is why, guys, it's important about how you phrase a sentence.
Don't worry, I'm working
shit
on it.
slipping out is different.
I'm working on it.
The English language, mate, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, it can really...
It's all right. I try my best. I do want to just have a little chat about, because there is quite a myth around, you said obviously you work in a private school now, you've done public as well. There is a myth out there that private school kids get more opportunities to play sport than public school kids.
I would say, from working internationally as well, working in a private school, both as like a sports grad and as a teacher, the opportunities that some of these kids are handed are unbelievable. And the fact that sometimes they're like, don't care. I'm like, if that was me, I'd be like, oh, I'll do that. Why would you not do that? Like, my previous school took them off to Geneva for a volleyball tournament, and one of them was like, just don't feel like going. I was like, what do you mean you don't feel like going? You're obviously, you have to pay for the trip, it's not like entirely school funded, but I was like, 3 days, go and play in the sport that you say you love with your mates, and you'd rather just be like, nah,
That's
don't
fun.
feel like it.
That sounds so fun.
That's what I mean. Like, sometimes I see the opportunities these kids get, and especially because like my school at the moment is so small. You know, we give kids that would never ever make a sports team, they will make a team, because in our year 7 class is small. Like, the girls that we have on it, we can just about scramble together a full netball team with subs. So they will all get to go out and compete. Obviously, we will never get higher than like a certain division because we're not good enough.
I know some American college students, they can get scholarships into a college or university because of their athletic ability.
Yeah.
Is that the same in the UK?
Yeah, you can get like different, it depends on what university you're going to, what you're applying for. So like, one of my friends that I went to university with applied for a sports scholarship and got it because she did a huge amount of sailing. So it just depends on what level you're at and what you want to do with it. But looking at my kids, I've got some boys in year 10 who are like very, very good footballers, and they play for academies, and they want to try and make it professional and all of that. But you do see different like levels of what they think is top level sport and what actually is top level sport. Because I've got kids, I'm like, yes, that kid will progress on to the next level, and you look at the one who's beside him, I'm like, he will progress, but he will never do it professionally. It'll be more like, not like, what's the level above recreational? Like, he'll do well in it, but he'll never...
Like,
it's like amateur level, isn't it?
Yeah, like high amateur
Semi-pro,
level. Yeah,
pro.
high amateur level, but will never like be big, and that's okay.
Which is fine, because if you enjoy something, you know, like I was not particularly amazing at football, but I played it every night, or 5 nights a week as a kid, because I didn't have a phone, and it was great.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's having them. What we worry about is the kids that do get told, you know, you're like, this is the end of your journey with your football career, with your rugby career, like you're not going to progress to the next level, and then some of them will just throw in the rag and be like, oh well, not doing it anymore. You're like, no, it's the exact opposite to what we want. Just because you're not good enough for this level doesn't mean you quit. And then that's obviously where they either find a different sport or they just kind of give up in sport altogether.
It dives a little bit into, you know, the whole participation trophies versus because, you know, having a first, second and third place, and if you're below you don't get an award, you just get a well done for trying.
Big issue in schools. Big issue in schools.
What do you think? Which direction do you think is...
So it's really funny you say that. We just had our sports day, and there was a whole big debate over, like, do we give them medals for first, second and third? Do they just get a participation medal? At one point we were toying genuine with the idea of everyone gets a participation medal, and if they come first, second or third, we were going to buy ribbon, and you could like attach the ribbon onto your participation medal, and then you could see that you've won gold, silver or bronze. And this went into what I can only describe as the most unnecessary like meeting we'd had, because I was like, this is just so pointless. And there was a lot of teachers that were like, oh, but I think it's really important that they all get a medal, like little Joe, little Jimmy, or whoever it is, you know, he'll leave sports day empty-handed. And I kind of like bit back in the meeting. I was like, we have music concerts every term for those who are musical. We have drama performances. We have like cooking competitions. We have all of this extra stuff where the kids who are not sporty get the opportunity. Like, the sports day is the equivalent of your end of year concert, of your school production, of your whatever it is you choose to do. So why aren't we celebrating the kids that are going home on sports day with 5 medals? Because that's their day, in a sense of, like, you know, when they're in the orchestra and they perform these beautiful pieces, they're getting the round of applause, they're getting the credit. So why can't we do that on sports day? Why can't, like, what is wrong? What is wrong with not getting a medal?
It doesn't attract competition either. People that have this natural competitiveness to be athletic or be at the top of sport, they're not going to be as motivated to do it. No. Which means we're going to have an Olympic team that eventually become even worse. Like, I know the British Olympic team is pretty good on the world stage. We just don't have as many people as America and China, etc. But I can see the future being a lot worse for us if we don't.
But it's just like, it's a bit of a slap in the face to them when it's their day to shine and perform. And imagine, like, you're a really good like athlete in school, and maybe sport's the only thing you're good at. Like, I've got kids who are ridiculously sporty, and they're not shining academically anywhere else. So sports day is their day to like go home and show their parents, oh, look at the 4 medals I've won. Like, that's when their parents are like, oh yeah, this is when I'm like able to be like really, really proud of something that my kid's done. And imagine, like, they arrive at sports day, they get the bronze participation medal, and then they get a couple of ribbons.
I mean, to be fair, in the older days, the losers used to get a wooden spoon.
We still do that in sailing, genuinely. Sailing.
That's perfect.
Sailing regattas, if you come last, you just get given a wooden spoon. They're like, wooden spoon trophy. Well
but
done.
It's a joke. That's good, because it adds a different level of humour to it, doesn't it?
It's a participation, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's a classic snowflake generation that we are in at the moment. With these kids, like, they cannot hack anything not being like completely fair, completely equal. Like, the moment they feel a little bit hard done by, they're like, and I'm like, this is normal.
I saw it go this way over like 15 years. I remember like 15 years ago, the world was so different to how it is. And I remember like people getting cancelled here, like left, right and centre. Then it got worse, and then like, you know, big movements started to take over. And anything you say, you start like, oh, I feel a bit
Can't
awkward.
say that anymore. You can't say
that's
that
why,
anymore.
I mean, I try not to swear, but like, this is why sometimes I do swear, because I do think that you should be able to say what's on your mind,
of course,
with being respectful to other people, of course. Like, if you're disrespectful, then you deserve to get slapped. But I think we should be allowed to say what we want.
Yeah.
But this is what, like, we have, especially because I teach whole school, like, I've got a group of kids who you can see the direct impact of COVID. They are in year 3 and year 4, which is, oh, now you're testing me, like 7 years old. Well, how long ago was the pandemic? It would have been
5.
Yeah, they're like going on like 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
And you can see their lack of inability. Like, they've missed key socializing years, and now they just don't know how to hack it. So when I plan my lessons for those kids, I cannot plan a game that will result in a direct winner.
Yeah.
Because the moment one or two of those kids does not get their way, does not win, does not progress to the next round of the game,
Do you know what I'm interested
they just
in?
kick off.
Do you know what I'm interested in, actually, like on this thought topic? How many of us use ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. How many of you just use it to like for psychology stuff, like to like maybe like a therapy tool in some cases, like maybe put some journal entries in there, like can you just help me figure out something?
my big use of ChatGPT is purely emails to parents.
Okay.
Just to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Cool.
Yeah. Mine's going to be script writing. If I'm
Yeah.
writing a script,
Yeah.
that's where I go for it. But
Okay.
I haven't done it with journal. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that, though.
So there's a big thing on ChatGPT at the moment that they've found that there's a lot of psychosis resulting as a result of people using it as therapy.
Really?
Because I've used it for like trying to analyze some of my thoughts sometimes. Like I'll write a journal entry, put it in there, and it will basically summarize it.
Okay.
Got so like it was so amazing. Like it literally is like a therapist.
Probably
like,
goes quite
breaking
deep as well,
apart.
doesn't it?
Yeah. But it has the thing with ChatGPT. They've realized it has this loop where it feeds you affirmations that you're right, even if you're wrong. Like
It's dangerous. That.
you think that your thought process is right about something, and it will confirm that it is. But it'd be nice to you. Technically, not every thought process you think is right.
Correct.
Yeah. So there's this massive
that's a slippery
psychosis,
slope.
and I'm thinking kids have phones. They get ChatGPT or AI. Are they
Well, anyone can
using
use it, can't they? Kids at school. There was a big problem with kids at school, wasn't there, recently?
So our school, schools will now have technology that if kids choose to hand in work online, especially my previous school, we were all done. We were like an Apple school, so every senior school student had a MacBook. Every lower school student had an iPad. They would submit. It was quite common for me to give them homework and then to submit it back online. That was the norm, and we had the technology to run it through. If we read it and went, "That's ChatGPT, that's AI." And it could come up a bit like, what was that stuff we used at university?
Oh, turn it in.
Turn it in.
Yeah.
It's essentially like a version of Turn It In. And I was like, you haven't written this. And it's happened to me before where even in this school, it's not done online, but I've read a student's coursework and I've gone, you know these kids after a couple of months, you know how they write, you know how they present themselves. And I go, he hasn't written this. He hasn't done this. And you go and you say to the child like, oh, what does this mean? And they go, oh, I don't know, I've never heard of that. I'm like, interesting, because it's on your coursework. So would you care to explain who's written it? And they're like, like anyway, so you need to go back because ChatGPT does not get your GCSE in PE. You need to get it.
Yeah.
So it is, yeah. And I could see like our year 3s and 4s being fed things by their parents in that same way of ChatGPT. The parents being like, "Oh, but you're amazing."
I just think it's already an entitled society, and I think the younger ones unfortunately get the full brunt, probably more of the brunt of that than anyone else.
They do.
So I'd imagine that if they did have access to that tool and were using it in that way, it would really send them through a bad place.
Yeah.
I want to loop back a little bit into the fitness side of things as well, because I put something on my story yesterday bringing into kind of what I call the weight loss conundrum, because people gain weights over the course of 3 years and then expect to lose it in 3 months.
I saw the picture. Yeah,
and I think
really
almost
good.
in a way we could tie this into the conversation we're having, because kids almost want immediate reward from what they're
They
doing.
do.
Hence why they probably use ChatGPT, because they're seeking you to turn around as a teacher and be like, oh, you've done really well. Oh, you've done great. But actually in reality they haven't put the hard work in for the time frame they've been there. Say it's a year 8 kid, they haven't done the work over there. So they, like, I don't know, 3-month project, but they've done it in 2 weeks. They haven't put that slog in to get the result.
No, they don't know. The thing is, I think the next generation, with the amount of technology we have, they genuinely don't know what hard work is.
Yeah.
Because they can access everything so easily. They can create what they want in a night. Like, they just don't want to do it, which is why I really push for like written homework. I'm a big fan of an exercise book and a worksheet. And like in my previous school, which was more online, my kids were like, oh, we never write notes. We never do it this
Don't
way.
you find it hard though to write now? Like handwrite, or do you do it quite often?
Some of our kids' handwriting is really poor because all they do is type. But I'm like, no, you're good. I'm like, you have to write your GCSEs, you have to write your A levels. Like, you need to learn.
I tell you
how
what,
to
when
write.
you write on paper, even if it is awful handwriting, you definitely remember it more. At least I found.
But that's why I said to them, they're like, oh, we never use exercise books. I'm like, well, I'm here now. We're using exercise books, and you're going to appreciate me for it.
Yeah, and
So
don't get me started on eye strain as well. I know you wear glasses.
Oh,
at the moment.
glasses now. Yeah. I won't wear them now. I can see everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, like I think we know by now that staring at screens for a long period of time
It's not good for
is
you.
going to make your eyes adjust to that short distance.
What was it your parents say? You used to say if you sat in front of the TV too much, you get square
Oh,
eyes.
you get square eyes,
Yeah.
which is almost true, isn't it? But
You know.
square eyes is
TVs used to be square.
They did used to be square.
Yeah,
To be
back in the
fair.
day. Well, they're technically rectangular
But
now, aren't they?
Yeah.
back in your day.
Back in your day.
Back in my day, I used to have the deep back.
Yeah,
the
you used to have a
VHS.
deep back.
Did you have a VHS
We did.
player?
We actually, in my house, we were actually really lucky. We had a VHF and DVD player in one.
So you had the next gen.
We were
Yeah.
like, considering how low tech my parents are, we had that, and I was like, we've made it.
I
Boys.
had floppy disks. That's
I remember floppy
bracket.
disks. Never had to use them though.
No.
Okay, I'm not going to go on to the next point. Anyway, I was
back to how old is the
go in a
podcast
completely
team?
different direction there about something completely random. Anyway,
What I was on, let's circle back a little bit,
Yeah.
because let's talk on the activity front again with
Yeah.
your specialist area here. I've got a really interesting stat here, which I'm actually quite excited to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the 1990s, over 70% of UK children used to walk to school daily. That was done on
Yeah.
a census. Now, less than 40% of children
Doesn't
walk to
surprise
school,
me.
which is mad when you think about it. That say we live in the city of Southampton, people are still driven
To school.
to school, and
Yeah.
there's less comfort in a child walking to school.
Yeah, I think there's a variety of reasons that, like, my school's quite out in the sticks. So some kids will travel, 45 minutes in, so they have to take a bus. We do have kids walk in, but I think it does come from probably a bit more like lack of safety. Like, do you feel safe having your child walk to school? Like, I could have easily walked to my primary school. Would have been a bit long, but I could have done it. But we had no footpaths, so it just wasn't safe. But I think just now with the kind of new society we're in, it's like, would I want my child to do that?
who do you blame in that situation though? Is it the kid or is it the parents?
I think it's a bit of both, isn't it? But as you say, we're living in a flaky society.
Yeah.
But that's conjured through parenting.
But
And if
yeah, but
parenting-
children aren't necessarily born as snowflakes.
No, they're not. But that's what I
So-
mean. It's like is okay. So is it nature? Is it nurture? That's where that
I think
debate
it's
then comes in.
convenience.
You think it's
I think it's
convenience?
convenience. I think it's the sooner, like, people take more time in the morning because they know, like, if it takes them 20 minutes to walk and 2 minutes to drive, they'll take more time faffing in the house and they'll do more of this and they'll do more of that. So it's like probably a little bit of convenience. Like, it's easier to drop your child to school than you have the peace of mind knowing I have dropped my child to school. They are there. They will go to lessons.
Yeah.
If you've got a child that doesn't enjoy school and you send them out the front door, you're like, will they make it to registration or will they just go off on a jolly?
I know parents can get fined if their kid doesn't turn
now.
up.
It's a big thing now.
Yeah, my
Especially,
sister's got
yeah.
kids and she tells me all about it. They get fined. I think it was like 150 quid once for like
If you
What?
take
A
you
day
take
missed.
them out, so you have like
There's a certain amount of
authorised-
days.
Yeah.
It's not
You
just
so when you register a child, like we say they're here, like yes they're here or no they're not here, and then it'll say well why is the child not here, and it's like either an authorised absence, so say they're like at a funeral or something, it's unavoidable, like that's an authorised absence. But sometimes parents will be like, oh, it's activities week and we're just messing around with the kids. They're like, oh, I'm just not going to send my kid in today. So that comes down as an unauthorised absence.
Yeah.
Like the school have said, no, your child should be here. And then what will happen is it's like a tally chart, essentially you rack up, like negative marks, and they say, oh, you've had too many unauthorised absences. This is a fine of, I think it's 150 depending on how many
And I
days
guess that's
they've
why a lot of
missed.
Crazy.
people take their kids out of like school time for holidays still though, isn't it? Because
Well, it's 'cause it's
150
cheaper.
is still cheaper. And if you're saying like
Yeah.
an activities a week where most of the kids, let's say about prioritisation,
Yeah.
some of the kids aren't even bothered about the activities a week. They
Exactly.
don't care.
No.
And the parents are like, that's all right. You can come on holiday with us.
Yeah, especially if you, if you choose not to privately educate your children or can't afford it or whatever reason, summer holidays start on the 22nd-ish of July. The price is completely soar. So if you were told a holiday for your family of 4 is going to cost like £2,000 or whatever, but it's going to cost £6,000 after, you're like, I'll rather spend £2,000 plus 150 per child's head for the fine to miss those last 3 days of school, so I can have a cheaper holiday. Like, why wouldn't you?
It makes more sense, doesn't it? It really,
Yeah.
really does. I think one thing, we spoke about it in our PT sessions. Now, sporting structure and PE lessons as a whole
Yeah.
has been very sport driven for years.
Has.
Do you think this is the right course of action to get more kids to actually take part in sport, or should we be changing the system?
I think there needs to be some kind of change, but I think it's really difficult. I think when they're in their younger years, when they're in their year 1s, their 2s, their 3s, I think they should just be allowed to try every sport, even if they're shit at it. Doesn't matter. Like, if they try and kick a football, if they try and swing a racket, like, sweet, let them go for it. But I think as they get older, they need to learn that not all sport is competitive. And I think a lot of our kids don't know the difference between recreational sport and competitive sport. They see PE as a chance to always win. And a lot of the times I say to them in PE lessons, I'm like, I'm not keeping score of this game. We are just playing to try and enjoy ourselves. Very hard for me to do that. Very competitive person. However, sometimes you do need to break it back to them and say, this is not about winning. Like, if you're doing a drill, for example, like even if we're doing football, I'm like, you're doing this, and then trying to shoot. I'm like, I don't care if you miss that goal every time, because it's the skill here, the passing skill or the dribbling skill that I want you to improve on. And it's like when parents come to me and they're like, oh, he's just not good at sport, he's just not this, like but you know, why have you given him such a like quite a positive grade? I'm like, I don't expect him to be Novak Djokovic, I don't expect him to be Leah Williamson, I don't expect him to have this, I don't expect them to be brilliant at every sport, but they're expected to give everything a go. And like, man, I don't care if they're shit. It's the effort and participation that we look for. And that really is. And that's where some kids will just really, really struggle. But you get two types of kids. You get kids who are really sporty and will be like natural athletes at everything. And they'll be really good, but they'll put no effort in. Because they're like, oh yeah, I can do it. Like, kick the football. Oh, I can do it. Oh yes. Easy, mate. Because they haven't got the competition there to get them to the next level.
That's good that you grade not based on like necessarily their talent, but like their participation and their effort.
I grade off like 3 things. So I grade off their actuals. We have like different criteria. So it's like, we actually have 4, but it's number 1 is their like levels of interaction participation. So how well they like do the lesson, if they're communicating well. Number 2 is their ability to do the sport. Are they good at tennis? Are they good at football? Are they good at athletics? Number 3 is their like ability to work with other people, and that's actually something I really, really push for. I'm like, you know, yes, let's go off into groups of 3 with your mates. Right, well, now you're not going to work with your mates. You're going to work with a completely different group. And they all kick off. And we as adults kick off too. Like when I go into teacher training stuff, they're like, oh, you can't sit with your PE team, you got to sit with someone else. Like I kick off too. I'm like, don't want to work with them. Don't want to work with them.
I want my friends.
Yeah, I want my friends. So I see like that, but I'm like, they're like, oh, why do you not let us work together? I'm like, because you need to learn to work with a whole variety of people. And the last one for our school is like, oh, are you keeping up with the physical demands of the lesson? And I think that's a little bit like tricky, because some kids will be really good at like endurance sports, but they're not good at you know,
power sports.
So I think that one can be a little bit, we have to kind of take that one with a pinch of salt.
I had it difficult in school. I was skinny. I know Dan, me and you both spoke about us both being skinny, right?
Yeah.
But I was skinny, I was small. I actually had a growth spurt quite late.
Yeah.
So everyone was taller than me for most of my childhood until I hit like 15. And so a lot of my early years were me wanting to prove myself physically, and that's what
and you see that more in the boys than you do the girls. The boys have this excessive need to like have a hierarchy.
Yeah
And they're forever in every PE lesson they're like not shoving each other, but I think it's that like young male thing of they're like, who's at number 1, who's at the bottom of the run, and the only way we can do that is to be a bit more physical and a bit more like aggressive in our play to have the list. And
what do you do with the bottom? The kids that are not naturally talented.
We've had an interesting chat about this, haven't we?
They're not naturally talented. They might be skinnier. They might be a little bit more underdeveloped than other people.
So the rule is in teaching, like when you create a lesson, you have to have like an endless supply of differentiation. So differentiating that lesson for the higher ability and the lower ability. So that can be really challenging depending on what sport you're doing, because for some sports, not that there's always a way to differentiate. There is, but in some sports it is particularly difficult. Like volleyball, for example. You know, the ball can't touch the ground, and some kids generally can't get underneath it. So we use, you know, like the big exercise balls that like can bounce. So because they spend long, like you start a kid on a balloon. Genuinely, you'll start them on a balloon, and they'll have to find like a slower moving ball, then they can move to it. But like in some ways, it is very difficult to differentiate. And I think half of being a teacher is pure negotiation, and it's like, can you negotiate them to just try, or can you put them in a group that they will work well with? So that's when you have to maybe move them away from like working with other people and saying, right, this kid doesn't like tennis, like they can't stand it. Put them, first of all, the only way to get them involved is to have them with their friend, and you can say to them, look, you don't like this sport, I'm putting you with your mate, I'm expecting you to still get on with the work, I'm not going to judge you by the quality of the work you do, like I don't care if you hit the net every time, don't care if it doesn't work, but I expect you to take the coaching points on board and just try your best. And a lot of that comes from like visual feedback for them. I did a lesson that was observed actually on sprint starts, and they had a clipboard and they had all the key points of the sprint start, like why they have to have their hands like this, why they have to do that. And for me, I look at those kids and I go, if they can't perform it, but they can verbally say, oh yeah, he hasn't got his hands in the right place, but he has got his hips higher than his shoulders, I'm like, okay, he can't perform it, but he can tell me all about it. So he has gained from that lesson. It's just not in the more traditional physical way, but he has gained knowledge. He has still gained knowledge and understanding. It's just not in the traditional way we see PE of being able to perform. So a lot of those unable kids will be very good coaches. They can stand there with a clipboard and they can tick it off. You have to be careful that they don't just get into a bit of a like tick box habit. They go, oh yeah.
Isn't that what they say? If you can't do teach.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that's why I'm a coach.
Well, they say like
You know?
those that can't do teach.
Yeah.
Those that can't teach.
Can't
Yeah, I
teach.
think-
Teach PE. No, those that can't teach PE.
Yeah, well, yeah, true.
What's that from? That's from a film. I can't
That's
remember.
from School of Rock, where Jack
Yeah.
Black's at
Yes.
he's at the table with the other teachers, and
knew
he
it.
goes, "Those can't do teach." It's like those that can't do teach, and those that can't
That's a
teach.
great film, and
teach
that's quite
PE.
old now. For those of you that are young enough and you haven't heard of School of Rock,
Banging
please go
film.
watch it.
Banging film.
Yeah.
But it is. It's like having those low ability kids saying like, you know, well, what are they going to get out of the session? Okay, they're not going to be able to perform to the same level as my top kids, but I want them to come away with a theory knowledge as well to be able to.
There's a similarity from when you say that about training kids. That there's a similarity between that and training clients.
Yeah, I suppose there
adult
is,
clients.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're exactly the same because I think kids are more brutally honest. To be honest
I
with
think
you,
kids haven't developed
Yeah.
that like filter yet.
adults are a
of-
lot cleverer about diverting an issue. A kid is just brash, just
Just straight to the
Kids-
point. I fucking hate it. I'm
Yeah.
not doing it.
yeah.
I have kids like
oh,
that.
miss, you look fat. It's like, oh my god.
But it is like kids will not hold like, and kids won't realize that they're like being insulted. Like they'll be like, "Oh, miss, I don't like that," or like, "What did I have once?" Like a kid said to me, they're like, "I'm like, oh, like, did you enjoy that lesson?" "Not really." I'm like, "Cool. Good chat, good chat."
That's refreshing. That's
But like
refreshing.
sometimes you
Surely.
do, like sometimes you regret. You're like, I don't want to ask opinions here because you're just gonna be like,
yeah,
like
you'll have a thick
my
skin.
ego is already so fragile sometimes when I teach. It's like, because teaching is acting. Like you've got to be really confident in what you're
Yeah.
doing, and some kids can be so brutal they can shatter.
What's the worst year group?
For me at the moment, it's my year 10. The issue with my current year 10 group is we have more boys than girls. We're more heavy boy year group, and number one, it makes it really hard for the girls to participate in sport because there's no safety in numbers for them. And the boys are currently at that age where they're picking out the hierarchy. The year 11s have left. They're at the top of they're king in the castle, king in the castle. And I just think some of the girls
And
don't get a look in. And
Year
because
10
of
as well, I
that,
think, is like the age that males' puberty starts to really.
it does start to kick off.
Peak
That's
up.
where I think that year 10 is where either they're having their growth spurts or
Yeah.
they're not having their
Yeah,
growth
they're held
spurts.
back a little
Their
bit.
voices are dropping or they're not dropping. They're getting more muscular. Like it's that very like hit or miss
Yeah.
level. So I've got kids who you can just see have not been hit by puberty yet and are really, really struggling.
Apologies for interrupting the podcast. We know you're getting fully engrossed into this episode, and we really appreciate you stopping on the video on YouTube or on Spotify if you found us through one of the search pages. Make sure to leave a review and a subscription if you haven't already. But we just wanted to interject a point here that me and Nick have 15 years of coaching experience between us, and it's only getting better as we've got better guests on the podcast. The only way we can do that, though, is with the growth of our program that we've just released. We've got a 12-month Perform Well program, which has just dropped, and we'd love you guys to get involved in it. If you want to know more details, make sure to head to the description, as we've got our website in there, which can give you a full overlay of the program. We're looking to help career-driven professionals, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and anyone dominate their life by improving their lifestyle. Me and Nick like to claim ourselves as experts in this area, and if you want to check out some of our other transformations, I'm sure you do. We've got some amazing people who have performed so well off the back of this program. Have a cracking day, and we really appreciate your time. Let's get back to the podcast.
I forget that before year 10, women were bigger and stronger than me.
They were,
Yeah.
yeah.
And more intelligent than me in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm just literally this underdeveloped
Yeah.
fetus.
But
just
like my partner
Yeah.
coaches a football team of boys and they're under 10s.
Yeah.
And they played against her little sister's team, all girls under 10s. And when I watched their game, some of these, and they're all roughly the same age, plus or minus a couple of months.
Yeah.
There are some of these under 10 girls, 9-10 years old, who are a foot taller than the boys.
Mate, young boys have got it hard.
Because
They've got it
it's
hard,
because the
man.
girls hit it first. So like these
Yeah.
girls are actually knocking over the boys to win the ball. And you can see the boys like, well, this is so unfair. And I'm like, you haven't hit puberty yet, mate. Just
Wait till year 10.
like just
Wait till year 10,
settle.
man.
But it is like,
Yeah.
when I look at my 7 and 8 girls, there are girls who are way more developed physically, like they are taller, they are stronger than some of our boys. And they're like, they just hit puberty early. Like,
I got
it
beaten in an
cannot
arm
be
wrestle
avoided.
by this lady.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone did, except for one guy, but the guy was generally like
Massive.
massive.
He's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
year 10 boys who like they love their fitness and they love to go to the gym and they talk about all the protein that they're on and they talk about all of it and they're like, oh, I do this and I do that, and I'm like, congratulations. I don't care.
That must make you happy though, talk about protein at that age.
But I do like
They
they're
know,
doing
they've
that.
been
But I
educated.
really,
Already,
what I
yeah.
really worry about though is where are they getting the content? Like, how do they know?
50 grams of protein, baby.
Yeah, you know what I'll do,
Joe
Dan?
Ricks, mate.
next
Unfortunately.
next GCSE PE lesson in September, because we're off for the summer now. But PE lesson in September, I'll just start off and I'll be like, your homework is to follow Dan King.
Follow that Coach Dan
Dan King
King.
for 50 grams of protein
Yeah.
a day. But I do like some of those boys because they take an interest in sport, but they will go down the route where I just I do sometimes worry where they're getting their facts from and where they're getting the information from. Because they love the fitness, I know they will be delving in the right places and going and speaking and looking at the right research, but I just sometimes do worry. They're like, oh, I'm taking protein, I'm taking creatine, and I'm like, yeah, it's good that you're doing that and it's really good you're taking an interest in that, but I don't know how much they're taking. I don't know if they're just having it for breakfast, lunch and dinner. I just worry, I just purely for my own reasons, I'm like, God, are they getting the right information from the right source, or are they watching Muppets on TikTok?
From what I understand, I don't remember in PE ever being taught about nutrition.
So we do teach nutrition now. I teach a lot more nutrition now, but it's very, very basic. It's like, here's your carbohydrates, here's your fats, here's your proteins, here's the foods, here's your unsaturated, here's your saturated, right, make a meal plan. And they only have to know so much. Like, for the exam, they will learn what they have to learn for the exam, and it's them to choose whether they want to take like a deeper interest in it, and some of them will. But it's just like, there's so many ways to access information now. Like, you said, like, you're on TikTok, you can see like the fitness people who are like, oh, this is the best workout to get abs, and you're like, abs don't come from workouts. Abs come from diet and looking at what you're eating. So I do worry if my boys have these fitness followers that I follow, these fitness people who are like, oh, in order to get one biceps you need to have 100 grams of protein a day or something really, and
but they don't need it at their size.
They don't need it.
Don't need it.
You always know people like that.
But that's what I mean, like, I can see some of my year 10 boys being sold that and being like, oh, well, he did it and he looks wham,
but he's also probably 10 years older
and I'm
than
like, yeah, but these fitness instructors are 10-15 years older. They train for a living. Like, they are in the gym 4 times a week. You can only go
and some take steroids as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but this is why we talk about this. This is why there's such a problem online, and I battle back as much as I can about it. But people don't understand the underpinning issues we're facing with this. People will voice thinking they're talking to an 18+ audience or a highly educated audience. They are not. They are speaking to impressionable 14, 15, 16-year-olds.
And when I say they are impressionable, dear God, like, so impressionable. They will have no, like, they are the definition of like clickbait. They'll fall for it. They'll be like, oh yeah, I believe that. And I'm like, really?
Yeah. But saying that, adults do it to this day.
But yeah, we are absolutely no better. But they're just more vulnerable.
25 years old for some reason rings my mind about the brain when it like loses its sponge-like ability.
It's when your prefrontal cortex drops.
Okay.
At the age of 25 and 27.
Sorted.
Got it. So yeah, you're basically in that right now, and
congratulations.
you passed through it.
Thanks.
I'll tell you what it's like soon. But yeah, no, they are like sponges, aren't they?
Kids,
they absorb so much. I do train I trained a kid as in like 16 years old up to 18 years old, and seeing how much he took on in such a short amount of time blows my mind. I've got 40-year-olds that can't do it.
Yeah. It's just the drive. Like, if the kid's highly motivated, they'll pick up on that. Like, I've got kids who who do not thrive in English, they don't thrive in maths, but they're really good at business studies because they want to be an entrepreneur, or they're really good at PE because they love football or whatever their chosen sport is. So like, if you have a kid who's, the only way to speak to them is through what they like. Like, I've got year 10 boys who will not say good morning to me, will not say good afternoon to me, because they just see me and they're like, as a teacher. But sometimes if you're like in a queue with them, like the other day, no, not like the other day, literally yesterday, we were waiting to go in for one of their activities, and they were talking about the gym. He's talking about like his arm workout, his leg workout, and that was the first time I had a proper like conversation with him and got to know a bit more about him. And that's after me being at school for a term and chatting to them. That was the first information they got. So the only way you can sometimes reach them is just by like talking their language. It is talking their language.
What's school cafeteria food like nowadays?
So I've seen like a full mix. So I did my placement in Southampton where the kids had to pay for their food. I would say it was poor.
Really?
But not poor like, I don't know if my definition of poor is just because I'm very aware of what I put in my body and I'm very aware of what I'm seeing, while these kids, they get given a certain budget a day from their parents and they're just looking at that money like, oh, I've got £5 to spend on lunch. How much food can I get for £5 rather than the quality of the food I'm getting?
It's discounted food though, right?
Yeah, it'll be like discounted, and some kids are obviously eligible for free school meals, so that'll have an effect too. But you got to remember, like, you're feeding for the masses.
I remember school. I was trying to figure out what protein they had there. It was just sausages, and it's not even that protein. It's not even that much protein.
I this is kind of quite. From a storytelling side, I remember I went through a phase, I gained a lot of weight when I was like from year 7 to about year 9, because at snack and break time I had this fat waffle. I'm talking like if you go to Heavenly Desserts or anything like that, just huge waffle with sugar on it. Huh?
Was it blue?
No. It's So I had a huge waffle. And this waffle, basically, I remember having a snack every single day. Fuck knows how many calories on it. Really loaded. Then you'd go in and have a panini, but it'd be like one of those really easily just warmed paninis. It had all the melted cheese in it. It would have some source of protein because I get the bacon one, but they're like little bits.
A little bit of ham, a little bit of bacon.
There wouldn't be much protein in it. The protein you're getting is probably from your breakfast and your dinner.
It's all brown food, isn't it?
It is all brown food. Brown and beige food.
Brown and beige food, a British classic.
Yeah.
But like we also look at it as like, so my school currently, you get a hot option and you get a cold option, so you can choose what you want. So the hot option will be like, we'll have pastas, we'll have potatoes, rice, whatever. The cold option will be like a salad section. So there'll be like slices of chicken, slices of ham, bread, wraps, cold pasta, like they'll do a cold pesto pasta, stuff like that. We also have a soup of the day, very popular in the winter. And then there'll be some kind of like fruit and pudding. And we do get kids complain a lot about the food in our school. And like even like I find myself complaining sometimes. Like I'm really, really privileged as staff. Like my partner has to take in a lunch every day. Like unless like she doesn't eat. Quite simple really. While I'm really privileged that I can go to my dining hall and I can have essentially a 2-course meal. I can have like soup and main, or I can have a main and fruit. Like I can have a nice variety going on. But sometimes I go in and it's like, oh, pasta with a choice of sauce. I'm like, oh, it's a bit of a dead lunch.
Is that it?
It's like pasta with a choice of sauce. It'll be like carbonara sauce, or like a tomato and basil sauce, or like a vegan version, because you've got to cater for all
I wanted the macros of that, by the way.
You know. And sometimes you go in, you're like, oh, it's a really dead lunch. And then other times you get really, really excited because on Friday we either have fish and chips or chicken goujons and chips. So you can see them all like, yes, get in, fucking chicken goujons and chips for lunch today. Excellent.
It's the tray bakes.
Yeah, we do have. Yeah, we have.
Yeah, they're dangerous though.
You get nice cookies in our school. You get
so
like
bad,
white
but
chocolate,
so good.
normal chocolate, or like double chocolate chip cookies for pudding sometimes in our school, and it is banging. But like you're catering for the mass. Like to go back for it, like you're catering for the masses. Now we're a small school, but even in my previous school abroad, was really fancy. We were having like salmon fillets. We'd have like
difference of place though. Where were you when you worked in this school?
I was in Monaco, so it was a different style.
Very different from here.
It was like, oh, and on today's menu is like veal, and I'm like, oh, that's fancy.
Veal or a tray bake. What do I fancy now?
It's like, would you like cheese?
Yeah.
Would you like cheese with your dinner? Would you have fromage? And it's like, oh well,
fromage.
Why not? But like.
I love it. I love the differentiation.
Like, we feed like all the nursery kids all the way up to upper six. Like some kids like their pasta al dente.
Yeah.
Some like it a little bit more overdone. Some kids like certain vegetables and some don't. And sometimes you hear the kids go, oh, I don't like that lunch. And then you have the school council, the school food council. It's a big thing.
School food council.
I know. God, think of a title, right? It's like, what do you call it?
Wait, the kids are a school food council.
The kids are on the kids are on like the food council, and they meet with the like dinner staff, and they say, right, this is what people like, it's what people don't like. That's why we now have a soup of the day. We didn't used to have soup, but it's like, what do you call that thing where like you have to give someone a title? Even though, is it like not like the personality hire?
Do you know what the problem is with the UK, right?
What?
If you look at the health secretary, and I don't mean the current one because I don't know what they look like, but the previous 3 health secretaries you've had, or like loads around Europe, look dreadful.
Completely out of shape.
Yeah,
and it's like, how can you be a health secretary and be completely out of shape, like smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer on camera with dribbles down your shirt?
Well, it's like someone called IKEA because he's got no leg to stand on.
Yeah,
like,
our leaders don't even know what they're doing. So how are kids supposed to know what they're doing?
Because they don't. But
they have no clue. But that's what I mean. Like you see someone like my tutor group. They're like, oh, miss, we have a food council meeting, and I look at them, and I'm like, why are you being trusted to decide what I'm having for my lunch? Not because they're not overweight in any sense, but like these are like kids, and I'm like, I just don't know if I want you depicting what like lunchtime is a sacred time for a teacher.
It's quiet time.
Well, it's not, because we have to sit in with a bloody canteen with them, and it's like as the weather's got nicer, we can't eat al fresco.
Oh, the teacher's table.
We have got a teacher's table.
Yeah.
You get to sit at the teacher's table, but sometimes as the weather is nice, we have been going al fresco, which is much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But it's like they're making these decisions, and kids are like, oh, I don't like this, but I don't like that, and I think, like, bless them, the teachers, like the staff are trying so hard to keep everyone happy, but sometimes you just have to accept, like, not everyone can be happy all the time. Some days you're not going to enjoy lunch, but other days you are. Some days, it's that snowflake generation again.
You just need to get on with it.
Just get on with it.
Just get on with it. Eat what's in front of you. Get on with your day.
Eat what's in front of you. Be grateful. Piss off.
And move on.
So how much do we think that the modern invention of iPads and phones and stuff has contributed to kids not being active?
Oh, huge. absolutely huge.
But in some regard, do we think it's going to be beneficial in the future for them actually improving their activity?
I think
weighing on that debate.
I think when they're old enough to like understand the benefits of the technology, yes. I think currently there's too much. Like I see kids throughout the day, they're not on their phones, they're talking, they're engaging. Like our kids at break time and lunchtime will do nothing but play football. But I know if they had their phones, they would just sit on them. And so the moment the bell goes at 4 o'clock, they unlock the yonder pouches and they are glued to it. It's like the first thing they do. And it's like it's an extension of their arm, an extension of their hand is their phone. And I do know a lot of them will just go home and they will sit on it because they tell me this. I teach PSHEs, like physical, social and mental health. And we had a lesson where I was like, right, your homework is to go home and genuinely see what your screen time is per day and to divide it into how much is social media, how much is, messaging, how much is internet. And some of the kids are racking up after school, 7-8 hours worth of screen time.
What?
No, I kid you not.
That's literally the whole of your evening gone.
I know. So they'll finish school at 4. Maybe they'll be on the hour home for the bus till 5. That's an hour screen time. They're like, oh yeah, like I'll have dinner and then I'll play the Xbox, which counts as like I say that counts as screen time because they'll play.
Yeah.
They'll go like the girls will scroll on TikTok. The boys will find they all have their own thing that they like. But some of my kids are averaging 6 to 8 hours of screen time a day.
That's crazy.
After school.
Yeah.
Yeah, either after school or as a result of being up, like having their hour commute or whatever their commute is to school on top of that.
I have freedom on my phone day to day, and I manage 3.
Yeah, I'm about 4, and like some of mine can be like an hour on maps, which I don't count as screen time because obviously eyes on the road.
Yeah,
but
it's so easy to do though. It's so easy to come back. Even like let's say you finish at 7, training clients, get back 7:30, have some dinner, last 2 hours of the day.
Bit of screen time, bit of scroll.
Pulled by the screen.
Yeah.
It's just so
zombie
easy
mode,
to do.
isn't it?
It's what they call brain rot.
Yeah, I mean, I always like to hide behind the fact that, like, because I've been so engaged all day with people and building a business and doing stuff that I just need the time to switch off, and that is my idea.
I'm very
of
like
switching off.
that, like especially because like teaching for me like is quite at times can be really overstimulating. Like you're dealing, especially with the younger years. Like I'll pick them up for a lesson and I'll have like 2 criers, 2 fighters, and 1 non-doer come to me, all screaming at once, and I'm like. Okay.
Do you know what makes me really nostalgic is just thinking about coming home from school, going out with a football, playing with mates, and then my mum's like, mum comes to the field at 9 p.m. when it starts getting dark.
When the street lights go on.
Yeah.
Did you see there was a guy who went viral? He's been doing it still recently, where he's basically showing what it was like for him as a kid through his kid. So he was teaching
the knock on the door kid. Yes, I saw
he was
that.
teaching his kid how to knock on the door. He was like, "Bruv, that's all wrong. Do it again."
But the first, so basically, like when you knock on the door, what's the first? You like knock on the door, and then what do you do?
Just wait.
Yeah, but how close are you to the door?
Quite close.
Yeah, well, normally you'd knock, stand back. Knock, stand back when you're knocking on a door.
This kid was like, knock on the door, and then they were like, here. And the dad was like, bruv, you are too close. Back off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you mean now, because when you said that, I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, so it's like teaching
how
kids.
How deep are we going into
But it's like kids with bikes. Like kids used to leave their bikes out on the plane.
How did you know
someone's home? Oh, everyone is.
How do you know where everyone is? Oh, well, you look for where the bikes are. No, it's like, how do you know where everyone is? Snapchat location.
Yeah. Yeah, different now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Completely different. I am also going to say, I'm going to grab the wheel now.
Yeah, go for it.
We're going to wheel.
Yeah.
Gonna get the wheel.
But yeah, it is like technology does take a massive impact on the kids, and they don't realise it yet. But I think there is hope.
I bloody hope so.
There is.
I bloody hope so.
Bloody hope so.
The Irish are fiery lot though. So is there a difference, would you say, between the Irish and the English in terms of education?
I don't know. Like I would say I'm biased only because of how I was educated. I was educated all girls, so different. Because I was educated all girls, the idea of sport was very different because we didn't have the boys to worry about. So we were never as self-conscious. We were still self-conscious, but here we have mixed PE when they're in their younger years, and then they separate afterwards. But sometimes they do get mixed together. We do a big group lesson, and then the girls are like, "Oh, I don't want to do it with." And they genuinely, the moment we've got some girls with boys and mixed in, they will not do PE. They will do whatever they can to make themselves like invisible. So that's another issue that we have to look at, like how you get, because girls' dropout rate is horrendous.
Yeah. Well, guys, what is the wheel?
Today we have the wheel. We have this or that. So it's a very simple this or that question. I'll explain a couple of them because some of them won't make sense until I explain it. But it's like simple stuff on here about like, this food or that food. Okay. I was going to get political, but I didn't. Yeah. Basically, it's this or that. Yeah. So you choose which one that you would prefer.
Guess. Go for it, Kate.
Spin the wheel.
Yes.
Yeah.
You spin the wheel.
It's hard because it gets stuck.
Burger or pizza?
Oh, that's really difficult because
It is.
You get more protein out of the burger, realistically.
I would say better macros with the burger, but the
Yeah.
pizza's damn good though.
Pizzas, yeah.
If actually, if you're bulking, because when I was in uni, pizza actually proved to fit my macros exactly because it hit the exact amount of calories, protein, fats, and carbs.
Yeah.
However, I'm a bit funny about like textures and stuff. So for me, a pizza, like if I go out for dinner, I know a pizza is safer. I
Yeah.
know it's going to be good, regardless of where I go.
I'd go burger.
Thin crust or
think-
deep?
but I
Thin
think-
crust or deep crust?
Oh,
Thin crust. I think thin crust all
Good.
the way. Deep
I'm
crust
not,
when I
here,
was
I'm not
younger.
here to have a loaf of bread, mate.
No, I agree. Do you want to go spin next?
Yeah.
Skadoosh. Right. Move abroad or live in the UK?
Live in the UK.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm leaning towards living. I've done my time abroad. I really enjoyed my time abroad. But I think
Or in your case, Ireland.
when I lived abroad in Monaco for 2 years.
No, I mean, would you rather live in the UK or
Oh.
abroad? As in, if you're like Irish.
Yeah, if I'd rather live in Ireland or at the moment, I'd rather live in the UK. But if we got better job opportunities in Ireland, I wouldn't be opposed.
Okay.
I'd live in the UK. I think there's so many more beautiful places that people don't go to in the UK.
Yeah.
And
What about Ireland? Think about the west coast of
Well,
Ireland.
yeah, true.
Stunning.
Or-
just crap connections though. You can't get there.
like,
Yeah, but you get a lot of bad weather there.
Oh yeah, because here's all sunshine and daisies, mate.
Well, not Dorset and Cornwall. Beautiful there. The only last tropical part of the UK, apparently. It's the last
Really?
it's the last rainforest of the UK. Yeah, and
What,
it's growing each
Cornwall?
year. Yeah, it's growing
good to
each
know.
year.
Is this a geography?
Cornwall it
podcast?
is.
No,
Sorted.
Google Cornwall rainforest. But yeah, no, I was going to say with this, I lived in Australia for a year, and I've moved abroad to different places, and I came back to UK because my family. And
Yeah, same thing for me.
It's the for me, living abroad was the language barrier. I really struggled
yeah,
with.
but you can't help
picking
what
it
feels
up.
home. To
Yeah.
you. Do you know, whatever
Yeah.
feels home to you is
Safety
where.
in numbers.
Well, yeah, true.
The Irish are everywhere though. Let's
We
face
are
it.
everywhere.
are,
It's
yeah.
great.
Not
Oh.
like anywhere, any other country. There's St George's Day and there's St Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
St
It's-
George's Day's dead.
Yeah,
St
but-
Patrick's Day is like
Everyone
Yeah,
loves. You go
everyone
to
loves-
America and it's just St. Paddy's Day
Everybody
everywhere.
loves
and there's like
Irish.
4 million Irish, I think it is, compared to like.
Well, how many
6
Irish did you see in Australia?
Yeah,
But
well,
it's
Loads.
because,
more
it's
than
because
English.
so
Yeah.
many Irish people emigrated.
You know
Yeah.
why? Because there's no opportunities in Ireland.
Well, yes, this is also very true. Dublin's nice though.
It's expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive. Can you spin my wheel,
not beginners,
please?
so yeah, go for it. Ready?
Have it. I like that. Right, no, we've had that
Oh,
one.
had
Flick
that
it
one.
over
Go
one.
again.
Protein shake or protein bar?
I prefer a shake.
I prefer a shake over a bar. I think bars can be too dense. Someone
They can
find
be
me a
quite
bar.
dry as well.
Well, Protein
It
Works have some
depends.
great bars.
Yeah, it depends. It depends when you take. I don't know. It depends. 'Cause
Just in general, if you
if
could
I'm
only
in a
have...
gym, like I just want a quick thing, I have a protein bar. But if I'm like at home, I'll make a shake because I can put anything I want into it.
I think shakes are more
I can-
versatile.
I can
There's so
make-
many
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
types of
And they're
shake.
easier to eat they're easier to have on the go in a sense,
with
like,
that,
especially with the
yeah.
heat. Like a bar will just melt, but the shake you can like carry with you. And
The shake's got more to it. You got to clean it. You got to carry it with
Better,
you. Like,
yeah.
but the bar, you just eat it done for.
I tell you what, there are
There's no
no...
satisfaction in the bar. There's more satisfaction out of the shake.
There's no
They're not all that
protein
great,
ice
I'll
cream
probably say,
bars.
yeah.
So have you ever heard of a protein ice cream bar? I don't know. If a brand can tell me that they do protein ice cream bars, I'm here for it. I would love to
Halo
have
Top is, I think well, no, there are protein ice cream out there.
But it's not bars, is
No.
that? Like, they're
I
like...
think so.
All my year 10s, it's snack time. They have like a break time. I will see them, all the boys with
Grenade
their, Yeah, with their
bars!
grenade bars, and they all bang on like, oh, this is the best. What's the one? The Oreo
The
one.
Oreo
They're like,
one.
oh, that's the best one, and I'm like,
I love how they're just eating protein. They have no idea why.
I know they see it's a
just-
pure marketing scam. They see 20
Yeah.
grams of protein, they go, I love that.
And it's
Yeah.
working.
We've succeeded, boys.
Yeah, we've done it.
succeeded.
Right, should we go again?
Go on,
Your spin.
Kate.
Spin. Cereal or toast?
Cereal.
Cereal. There's more variety.
But then toast, can we encompass bagels into that?
But
Maybe.
that's just two types, though. You've just listed two types.
I know there's loads of cereal, I get that. But if I was going to have cereal, I'm up Cocoa Pops through and through.
I had Cocoa Pops this morning.
Yeah,
Actually. It was
so there
very,
you go.
very
I go
good.
through phases with cereal. I change it. I
Yeah.
have weeks of like porridge, and I go weeks of Weetabix, weeks
Yeah.
of.
Well, I've had
something
the past while. I've been doing 2 eggs on a bagel for breakfast every morning.
Yeah.
But today I finished for the summer. I was like, you know what?
Bottle of
But
Coke.
the only
treat
thing
yourself.
the only thing I don't do is I don't focus on a high protein breakfast.
Do you not?
I don't care if I get more than 20-30 grams in, ideally.
Oh, I bang it. I bang protein.
Yeah.
Breakfast is
All
my
my
window.
protein
It's
gets
an
hit in
easy
my
one to
dinner.
get the protein. But like dinner is where I would probably get more of my protein.
I
in.
hit almost 80% of
I
my
would as
protein
well
in
for dinner.
So that means my breakfast and lunch can be whatever the hell I want. It's
Nice
great.
to have- yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Win the lottery or live forever?
Oh, win the lottery. No point in living forever.
Win the lottery or live forever. I mean, how can you guarantee you'll live forever anyway? Is this guaranteed you'll live
Yes,
forever?
it's guaranteed you live
so you
forever.
watch everyone you love die?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
my
fuck
point
that.
was.
Yes.
Like, fuck that. Why would you want to see everyone die?
But then you can make a new family and like go again.
I don't want to see the
universe.
universe explode
Yeah.
in front of my eyes.
But then
But, like,
if
never-
you live forever, you don't die.
Hold
So
on,
you-
but if you live forever, does that mean when the world's destroyed around you, you're just standing there like a lemon?
You're floating in space for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's shit, mate.
Well, not
you
the rest
haven't
of
thought
your
that
life.
one through.
No, well, I just chucked it in there.
But you haven't given your answer. You sounds like you're
Well,
leaning
I'd say
more
win the
towards live
lottery.
forever.
I wouldn't do live forever. I was just playing devil's
I'd win the
advocate.
lottery.
I'd win the
Win
lottery.
the lottery.
Yeah.
And then
well,
I'd
they
s-
say money can't buy happiness, but clearly they're not spending money.
Well,
right,
clearly,
you know?
yeah, they don't know what money looks like.
Think about the stakes you can get if you won the lottery.
Yeah, you could go to the
Grass-fed.
salt, whatever its name is,
Aberdeen.
Salt Bay.
Think of all the protein you could afford.
I know, mad,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I
I
Think
love
of,
it.
think of all the money you could give your
Yeah,
PG.
it'd be
I
so
would go
easy.
to. I'd do a tour of food, so I'd go to every location as a staple food. So like Aberdeen Angus steaks, bang, straight on there.
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
so I'd go places like that and go for like a
So
food tour.
Have you
Petersfield
seen
sausage
them?
rolls.
Yeah, sure.
Have you seen the couple
Bugger
that
it.
is traveling the world trying every McDonald's? There's
No.
a couple on TikTok I've seen every now and then. They come up on my For You page. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're traveling around the world to try McDonald's in every single country." I was like,
That's cool though. They are
it's-
generally
Japan
really
has
interesting.
been really good, but
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, that must be a bit dull sometimes because
You should have Mackies every day.
In Bali, the Mackie D's had the fastest range of ice creams I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
That's
Like,
nice
I
here.
can't even remember off the top of my head now. I was so drunk. Right, Dan.
Go. Garmin or Apple?
Garmin.
Ah, see, I have been
It depends.
converted. I've been converted to Garmin, but
Yeah.
okay, I'll say it. For sport, Garmin. For
Yeah.
lifestyle, Apple.
Yeah.
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 You got Garmin's better for outdoor stuff,
Because
especially.
I do all my sailing through my watch, and it's really, really cool to
Like,
look back on it. But
my-
the battery life on those, you have to charge it every night, don't you?
This is an all-rounder. I mean, the Garmin is an adventure watch in my eyes. So you could wear it for absolutely anything.
Well, it's meant for hikes,
Yeah.
isn't it? Garmin were
Yeah.
designed for hikes and if people get lost.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
where
I
Garmin
literally
made
have
their
this
and
for-
deal.
GPS and stuff like that.
I just have this for simple ease of use. It just syncs to everything. It does the job. Don't need anything more.
You've converted to the Garmin.
I have been converted to Garmin. I've got mine on now. It's really good.
One
It
of
does.
us.
I do get scared. My body battery's gone down by like 10% in this podcast. It's
See,
been,
I
it's been
used to
intense.
track.
Are we
I used to
draining your
track
body
these
back?
stats.
Clearly.
I used to track these stats. I don't give a fuck.
I'm so interested in it.
It's good bedtime reading.
No, but the day that I woke up one morning and I felt great, and my watch told me I had bad sleep,
It is how much of it's psychological, like because you've been
that made
told
me
you've had
go
bad sleep.
screw this.
yeah.
Then, like, it is
do
helpful,
wonder.
but I feel like
I
some
find it's
people it's not so
dangerous
good
with the
for.
step count because you go to bed below your step count. You're like, oh, yeah, just doing laps.
Just
in the
running
bed
around the bed,
Yeah,
just going
and,
Yeah,
around
and
in
if you're
circles.
neurotic or an overthinker or
Yeah.
an overworrier, that's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, that's Kate over there. That's Kate over there.
right here.
Well,
Me
what
too.
do you want to go one more for good luck? Go on, bugger it. What does that say? Olympics or World Cup? One of them to visit. If you got the choice, someone said you can either go to the Olympics or you can go to the World Cup, but you can't go to both.
If you're saying Olympics, is it that you have to choose one sport? Or
You can go to everything at the
can go to
Olympics,
everything.
or you go to the World Cup.
for football. I'm
Yes.
assuming.
If England's in World Cup,
But England will be. Yeah,
if England's not in
So
World Cup,
behave.
then
well, they're
Olympics.
getting in there, are they? Let's be honest.
Oh,
That
no,
was
not
really
very good.
unnecessary. I'm still covering from the trauma.
No,
there.
they're good in rugby though.
They are. We are
good.
banging
They
it.
are very good at rugby.
We should have been in the Women's World Cup.
They got
but
beaten
there
by
was-
England though.
Yeah, can
quite
you
a few
not?
times.
Yeah.
Can you not, mate?
Yeah, but now we're getting.
My
beat.
brother's
Okay,
married to an
right. Well,
Irish
you
girl.
might have beaten us at rugby, but I will beat you through passport controls. So.
Oh, yeah, the most powerful passport in the world is the Irish
We are,
passport,
yeah.
isn't it?
That's a fair point.
That is, that's game, set, and match.
What, Nigel Farage?
I think we'll round off there. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. If you've got any questions for Kate, make sure to drop them into the actual comment section of the podcast itself. We really do appreciate it. And we appreciate, obviously, everyone who's joined us over the years. We've got more guests coming on, more wheel. I like the wheel.
I like the wheel.
We'll
It's good
see.
fun.
I'm glad. But yeah, we'll make sure to catch you guys later. Make sure to subscribe and send it to your dog, your nan, your family, and anyone else who you know. And catch you later. Bye.
Bye.